People come up to them to pose for photographs.
They're just chanting death to America, but they seem friendly at the same time. It's utterly bizarre.
Good day, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel. Time for a spot of royalty. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can, of course, find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Many thanks to the generous folks who bought me a cup of tea. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment. So, this whole, what really happened in Afghanistan? I mean, is our president just so completely checked out that... Okay, so the first thing, or is this intentional? Is this like a CIA op? Why did the United States leave $85 billion of advanced weaponry in Afghanistan? Okay, almost $1 trillion of weapons. You realize you're going to pay every penny for this, and all of these weapons were literally just handed to terrorists, our enemies. Black Hawk helicopters, tanks, the latest technology in tanks, anti-tank weapons, Stinger missiles, the top technology. In fact, this technology is so outstanding and advanced that they don't know how to use it yet. They've never seen this stuff before. They've never touched it. It's going to take them a year to figure out even how to use it. That's how advanced it is. And we just handed over $1 trillion of our best weapons. You know, oh, we're going to pull out of Afghanistan. You take the tanks, you take the helicopter, you take all of it, okay, and you leave a smidge for the Afghan army to use. Why didn't they do that? So it's very suspicious. So let's just do a Celtic cross and see what the cards want to say about why did the USA leave $1 trillion of our most advanced weapons for terrorists who are officially our enemies. And these weapons will be used against us in embassies around the world and in our homeland, here in America, obviously. Our own weapons. We just armed them better than they've ever been armed in history. Who would do that? Who would do that? Only an enemy of America. Is that enemy our president? Our current president? I don't know. Who would do that? So why did we leave $1 trillion or $85 billion of weaponry, the most advanced weapons on planet Earth? Why did we leave this in Afghanistan? Inheritance, ruler, and heart. Wow. 23, 24, 6 spades. We are showing the terrorists some love. This was intentional. This was intentional. It was absolutely intentional. Lovers, okay, the U.S. and the Taliban are supposed to be enemies. They are not enemies. They share the same heart. No, we are enemies. No. Okay, so in fact, this was a gift to the Taliban, a terrorist organization. It was an intentional gift from the world superpower, and we let them know we're working together. We're with you. 2, 2, 2, 3 twos, and only 1 -2. This is on the mind. They have to tell the world that, oh, it's a big mistake. Oh, we just accidentally left $1 trillion of the most advanced weaponry for our enemies. The people who created Osama bin Laden, the people who hid Osama bin Laden, and the people who you know, everywhere in all of the European nations, you see these diversity barriers so that you can't drive a car bomb into the public buildings. Beautiful diversity barriers everywhere. And I worked in DC. There's diversity barriers everywhere. So you can't drive a car bomb into the federal buildings. Oh, it's so beautiful. And that's only existed in the last 20 years. Why? Because of these people that the U.S. government just gave weapons to. And they probably had a couple of $1 million in weapons, and they were just handed $1 trillion in weapons. They have increased their weaponry 100 times. Okay, on Tuesday, they had $1 million in weapons, small arms only. And on Wednesday, now they have 100 times more and the best weapons in the world. Wow, that's amazing. Handcuffs, 4-leaf clover. This was the opportunity to give it to them. Snake, they have a very long-term nefarious plan. The snake is the devil in the Garden of Eden. Trinity, they are working together, hand in hand. Again, two hearts. The U.S. government is working directly with the Taliban. Okay, an official terrorist organization, and you saw in the first clip, they were chanting death to America. The U.S. government is working with the Taliban. Wow. Directly, openly, we love you. We love you. We're the same organization. This is our opportunity to give you a whole bunch of weapons, and we have a really long-term, weirdo, nefarious plan. 24 plus 6, 30, 33. This is the key. They have some big plans for these weapons and the Taliban. Wow. Wow. Let's just ask if the CIA is running this op. Is the CIA running this op? Okay, and I had an opportunity to join the NSA, which is even more secret than the CIA. They do a lot of really wicked things in the name of national security. They are extremely Machiavellian, especially the CIA and the NSA and the FBI also. Because there's a lot of crossover, they do things that if anybody knew, George Bush said, if they knew what we were doing, they would drag us through the streets and hack us into pieces. And George Bush, the first George Bush, was head of the CIA. Okay, so that's a literal quote from our president, who was head of the CIA. So they do things that no one better ever find out. Okay, and this is one of them. So is this a CIA op? Is this a CIA op? The CIA running this? Devil. Hightower. Wow. Is this a CIA op? Devil, Hightower, official, the government, incubus, succubus. Devil, liar. Devil will do anything. 26, 7 diamonds, outside. This is the government doing this. And they're keeping it once removed. So the CIA is independent, and it adds 7 diamonds. Finger of God. This is the CIA doing this. Absolutely, this is the CIA doing this. Mercury, roses hand in hand, sweet words to all the people, communicating sweet words to all the people, and telling lies. Telling lies about what happened. Crossroads and Mother Earth. Mother Earth this is the situation we find ourselves in. Crossroads is speaking with a forked tongue. So underneath, they just lie. And I've been watching Fox News. Fox News is the contrary network that is going to, expose some of these things. But they're really not hitting hard enough, in my opinion, because this thing that has happened is going to change the world. Giving the terrorists $1 trillion in the best weaponry on planet Earth changes everything for the future. Okay? And your sons and your grandsons and your granddaughters very likely will die from the weapons that were just handed off to the terrorists. Okay? By the hand of the U.S. government, literally, your sons and daughters and granddaughters will be murdered because of what the U.S. government has just done. So this is definitely a CIA op, and they are working hand in hand, like lovers. They're the same organization. The U.S. government and the Taliban are working directly together through the FBI. And that's what I see in these cars. Despicable. Absolutely despicable. Okay, there are the numbers that I've heard are there were 75,000 Taliban fighters. There were 300,000 heavily armed, well-trained Afghan army in strong, fortified positions with the best weaponry on planet Earth. Okay, and you're going to leave a smidge of that weaponry for them, a responsible amount of weaponry, because we're funding them, we're giving the Afghan army these weapons. Okay, but you're not going to leave $1 trillion of weapons on the table, and that's your money, by the way. And food is going to cost more, and gas is going to cost more, and if you're retired like me, you're not going to be able to pay your bills in a couple of years because inflation, because they just gave $1 trillion worth of weapons to the Taliban, to the terrorists. So why didn't the Afghan army fight back? Let's look at the Taliban versus the Afghan army. There was not a shot fired. There were shots fired, but there was no battle. They just took over Afghanistan like, yo, 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 it's ours. Okay, so why didn't they fight back? Taliban. Oh, devil. Oh, scapegoat. Afghan army. Oh, look at that. Okay, now the Middle East is a different kind of place. I spent 5 years or so when I was a kid taking karate. It was just like, originally there were a bunch of, kids like me. There were white kids, black kids, American kids in this karate class. It ended up being just me and a bunch of college-age Iranians. Okay, so they were straight from Iran. They were there in college. And I was younger and they were all older. They're very different in the way that they think, in the way that they react to situations. The Shah of Iran was deposed at the time when I was taking karate with them. The Shah of Iran was deposed. They were going to go back. They were going to stay. They were going to fight for their country, and it was madness. And I got to see all of it. So, if you're one of these people that thinks everybody's the same, all of the cultures of the earth no, they're very different. That's the whole point of traveling. People are the same. We're all, born of Adam and Eve and ultimately Shem, Ham, and Japheth, because everyone else was destroyed off the earth in Noah's flood. But the peoples of the world are very different, and that's what is so interesting about traveling. We're all the same, but the peoples of the earth are very different. To a point that maybe you can't even understand how they think or why they're thinking this. And that's what's happening right in front of our eyes. Okay, that lady in the clip said, oh, they seem very friendly, but they're chanting death to America. It's the oddest thing. And from her perception, that's exactly what's going on. Honestly, she shouldn't be standing there. This is very foolish for her to be standing there. She could easily be killed. And I don't care if she is CNN. So, Taliban and Afghan army. Why didn't they fight? Okay, devil, scapegoat, the outsider. They'll do anything, and they rise back up. 19-5 clubs. This is the resurgence of, and it's interesting, the cards show the Taliban as truly evil, the devil and the scapegoat, those cast out, and those who are truly evil and will do anything. What about the Afghan army? These are our brothers. Home, we are the same people. Two clubs, 6 diamonds. We are the same people. These are our brothers. 10, 12, we will not fight with them. So they made a decision that the Afghan army is not going to fight with the Taliban, but the Taliban is showing as the devil and the scapegoat. Just really, really evil. I'm not sure how they could show as more evil than this. You could throw a Queen of Spades in there. You could throw a King of Spades in there. It's the resurgence of evil. It's the resurgence of evil. And what we're about to see is going to blow your mind. Why didn't they fight back? 2 spades, 5 hearts. They decided not to fight. 7. 2 clubs. They were committed not to fighting. They would not fight their own brothers. These are their brothers. 9 hearts, Ace of Hearts, cross. The key is that we love each other. We are forever the same people. We are from the same mother. We are the same spine of people. So there was no fight. There was no fight to keep the capital. There was no fight for Afghanistan by these troops that we spent 20 years training and funding, because they're all brothers. It's a tremendous betrayal to the Afghan people. It's a tremendous betrayal. They just handed over the country to the Taliban. Interesting. Very interesting. And this was all decided up front. Okay, and when you go to court, it's all decided before you step into that courtroom. Okay, it's decided by the judge and the lawyers and the prosecutors before you step into the courtroom. So always keep that in mind. And the courtroom is a formality. You see these people get life sentences and death sentences. It was decided before they stepped into that courtroom. Okay, there are 15,000 United States citizens right now stuck in Afghanistan. The Taliban has set up checkpoints. How do you get to the airport? You see these people, these desperate, desperate people hanging off of the airplanes as they're taking off and falling to their deaths at 20,000 feet. Oh my gosh, this is shame on the current administration. Okay, will there be a huge hostage situation for the remaining Americans? It is said that that the Taliban is starting to go door to door and finding out anybody who worked with Americans. Okay, I was a federal employee. In that situation, I would be just a random, and I was a pretty high level federal employee. I would be somebody who worked with I would be a federal employee. I worked with the Americans, and they would kill me. They would get my name, they'd go to my house, and they'd just execute me. And it's said that they're going around executing people who worked with the Americans. I would be one of those people if I was an Afghan and like the same position that I was, in the federal government. I held 20 different positions. Will there be a huge hostage situation of remaining Americans? Is that what is being set up? A huge hostage situation. We have 15,000 Americans, and now we're just going to bleed money from you and concessions from you. For historical context, because people seem to forget everything, has this happened before? Yes, Jimmy Carter. Iran. I've already mentioned Iran, and I practiced karate with a bunch of Iranians, and this all happened when the Shah was deposed. They took a bunch of American hostages from the embassy. Okay, this is so much worse. There were a few American hostages under Jimmy Carter. A few. I don't know how many. Less than 20. Here, they have 15,000 Americans. And what happened under Jimmy Carter? They waited until Ronald Reagan was elected. God bless Ronald Reagan. He's not a perfect man, but he was a great leader. And it doesn't mean I'm a Republican. I also voted for Barack Obama. which a lot of people did. What happened? Ronald Reagan came into office. On his first day in office, he was planning a Navy SEAL assault and a full-on bombing of Iran. They released all the hostages. Peace comes through strength. We have a tremendously weak president, a tremendously weak administration. We are in, it's very possible that countries will attack us for war because we have such a weak president. So, is a huge hostage situation brewing. Mercury, money, and straight razor. 18, 5 diamonds. They want money. They want money. Okay, and they're just going to be right up front about it. They want money. What's underneath? They have nefarious plans. So on the surface, they're going to say, we want money. Talking, we're all brothers, we're all the same. They're going to talk very conciliatory, but they're devils and they're hiding things across to the world. So the terrorists are going to overwhelmingly, constantly tell us what nice people they are, but they're devils, and and we saw this in the previous spread, and they have lots of really evil plans. 14, 24, 32, 8 spades. Yes, they are the wicked. Okay, they're showing as devils, they're showing as the cast out. So they're constantly going to barrage us with how good they are and how nice they are. They're telling us they just want money. They have other plans. It's going to be much worse than that. I don't see a bunch of hostages. Okay, maybe they're too smart to do that. Maybe they're too smart to do that because we can re-invade the country, which would be unbelievably stupid. But, look who's running the country. Is the current administration intentionally creating a flood of Afghan refugees? Because right now, at our southern border, they have just flung open the border. And what they're doing is, all of these people coming across the border, all of them are going to vote Democrat. And they're making sure, they're basically ensuring a Democratic supermajority in America so that they can just take over America. They don't care about these refugees. They hate America and they just want power. And by flinging open the doors to more Afghan refugees, and we need to help the Afghan refugees. We actually should help any American sympathizers, anybody who helped the Americans. And we were there for an entire generation, 20 years. That's a long time. You have an obligation to help all those people. And only those people. Okay, so is the administration intentionally creating a flood of Afghan refugees to, just like the southern border? Are they intentionally creating a flood of Afghan refugees to, again, change the demographics, the voting demographics of the United States? And they even tell you they're doing it. Here's the devil. The devil's right there. Look at the devil. The devil is right there. All right, so underlying, these monsters will do anything. They will completely destroy America and kill everybody to assume more power. What's on the surface? Hamster wheel, a problem, and we're the nice guys. Okay, and this adds 3 spades, 12. So on the surface, in a place far, far away, there's a problem, and Americans are compassionate, Americans are really nice people, and Americans are charitable, and of course we're going to help the Afghans, and if you don't, you're a terrible person. Okay, if you don't want to do that, you're a terrible person. If you even so much as think about what the CIA is actually doing, you're a terrible person and a racist. 9 clubs, 6 clubs, officially deep-rooted. These are our people, and they're cast out, and there's big problem, and there's sickness, and this is a disaster. Okay, so, yeah, they're using this disaster, 29, 35. 9 clubs officially. They're using, underneath, they're using this disaster, which they created, to, are they going to flood the United States with Afghan refugees? Okay, and we have to save the people who helped us. We should do that. That's 100,000 people. Okay, but they're going to bring in millions. Okay, which is a very different thing. Most of those people that they're going to bring in are Al-Qaeda sympathizers, and a lot of them will specifically be terrorists. Okay, and they will specifically send us terrorists intentionally to create terrorist cells in the United States, and they admit doing this already with the Syrian refugee crisis. They admit doing this. So, will the administration intentionally flood us with Afghan refugees? Is that what they're doing? Absolutely, that's what they're doing. Absolutely, that's what they're doing. They created a humanitarian crisis, and they will do anything to assume power. They are the devil. And I find it interesting that initially the Taliban showed as the devil, but the first spread showed that the Taliban and the CIA, who's doing this as an arm of the US government, these are the same people. And now our government is showing as the devil. Same. Okay, the Taliban is the devil, and the CIA, US government, is the devil. They will do anything to get what they want, including giving $1 trillion of weaponry to terrorists who are going to kill you with that weaponry. All right, let's review. Why did the US leave $85 billion or $1 trillion of the most advanced weaponry in history to the terrorists, the Taliban? Well, because this was intentional. It was not an accident. And it literally says we're the same people, we're lovers, and it was by agreement. They planned this and executed it. Next I asked, was this a CIA op? Yes, absolutely. The CIA is running this op. And it says that, and that's how you do it. The CIA is independent. So it's not officially the US government, it's the CIA, and they can say, oh, we didn't know what the CIA was doing, if anyone finds out. Okay, and I'm amazed that the mainstream media, including Fox News, is soft-pedaling this so much, because it's so much worse than, and the cards are saying this, it's so much worse than even Fox News is saying, and the CNN people and the liberal media are going to say, no, it's not that bad. It is worse. Why didn't the Taliban, there was no fight. The Afghan army there was more of them, and they were very heavily armed, and they were in strong, fortified positions over 20 years. Why didn't they fight? Because they're brothers. And they said, we're not going to fight our brothers. Incredible. That is unbelievable. And the entire reason that the U.S. was there arming the Afghan army was to prevent exactly what just happened right in front of our eyes. It's incredible. Number 4, there are 15,000 United States citizens, and there are other people who worked with the United States government, people like me. I would be one of these people if I was Afghan. Will there be a huge hostage situation? I don't see that, but they have some very evil plans. I don't see a huge hostage situation. Is the administration intentionally trying to create a flood of Afghan refugees? Yes, they will do anything. The people who run your country are evil, devil, evil. They will do anything, and they don't care about you. Wow. Wow. You should get angry. And not about Wu Flu. That's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. And I'll see you next time.